Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Keith here, and today we're looking at the top 10 Game Boy Advance games. Let's take a look. So the Game Boy Advance, what an amazing console. It came after the Game Boy Color, and then of course the original Game Boy before that. Which were two amazing consoles in their own right, and I'll be doing, and I have a top 10 on the Game Boy already somewhere. There's a link here. I need to do a Game Boy Color one, but wow, the Game Boy Advance, 16-bit, next generation. It was released in 2001, February 2001. It featured all the classic Nintendo IPs, and they were all brilliant. There was no bad Nintendo games on the Game Boy Advance, in my opinion. Not that I've played them all, so I can't really speak with authority on that. But yeah, released originally as a 2D console, and it excelled in that medium. I mean, all the 2D games on it, amazing. They look amazing. The color is amazing. That original Game Boy that I showed you wasn't backlit. They brought out a clamshell version that was. They improved it all through its life cycle until it was, I mean, when was the last game? The last game came out 2008. I think November 2008 in Europe and February 2008 in North America. I can't remember what those names, the games are, but yeah, 2008 was when the last official game came out. But man, I still play it today. It's fantastic. Though the clamshell version, the screen is just incredible. It's perfect. You don't need anything else. Do you hear my arm click? Getting old, your body clicks a bit more. And then of course when the Nintendo DS came out, you could still play Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo DS. It had a slot where the cartridge would fit in. An amazing console. I still play it today. We had a power cut in Dublin, okay, years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and I came up to my room where my collection is, and I went straight for the Game Boy Advance. One, I knew it would still be charged. I have about 5 or 6 Game Boy Advances. They were all still half charged, which was fantastic. The clamshell had a built-in battery. The original version took batteries. And I was just playing away. I'm not going to mention, because the games that I was playing, I remember during that power cut, are all mentioned in this top 10. So without further ado, here are my Game Boy Advance top 10 games. Look, the video says the best Game Boy games are the top 10 Game Boys ever. Of course, it's just my top 10. And if you look at like a top magazine or whatever, usually it's that guy's top 10. There's no official committee or industry that actually determines what a top 10 on any games console is. On my previous videos, I always get people, that's not an official top 10. What is an official top 10? There's no committees agreeing this. Everything is just somebody's opinion. Whether it's the most world-renowned magazine giving out a top 10, it's still that guy's opinion, whoever that reporter is. One person. I'm one person. Why am I talking so much? This is my Game Boy Advance top 10. Let's go. Okay, so starting things off at number 10, we have got Wings. So, Wings, released on the Amiga in 1990 and then 12 years later on the Game Boy Advance. I remember being quite surprised when I heard this Amiga exclusive was coming to the Game Boy Advance. Any fans of the channel know how big an Amiga fan I am, and also how big a flight sim fan I am. But I never really bothered with this on the Amiga, as I was obsessed with the most realistic flight sims I could find. So Wings, it's more or less the same game as the Amiga version, with slightly different graphics, especially in the 3D sections, and a few new features, including being able to play as a German pilot. In the Amiga version, it was just the Allies only. It's a great little game. I know Teenage Keith would never have been a fan, but Old Man Keith loves this, and I regularly play it on the Game Boy Advance or the DS. At number 9, we have got Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. So, there were a few Castlevania games released on the system, but this was definitely the best as far as I'm concerned. It was also a very unique game with the new hero, Soma Cruz, and the fact that you could absorb the powers of defeated enemies. The game itself is just a pleasure to play, it's fun from start to finish, and it looks amazing. I loved it. At number 8, we have got The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Okay, so there were tons of Lord of the Rings games on consoles at the time that this was released, and to be honest, I never was really a fan of them, as most of them were pretty dull. But the Game Boy Advance versions were really great. I really enjoyed them. The Return of the King, people have described this as Diablo in Middle-earth. It was that good. You can play as 8 different characters and all play very differently and are super customizable. I've recently played the Shadow of Mordor games on modern consoles, and look, they have their fans, but still to this day, this here on the Game Boy Advance is one of the best Lord of the Rings games I've ever played, and that's saying something. At number 7, we have got V-Rally 3. So the Game Boy Advance came out at a time when consoles were pretty much full-on 3D, yet this was designed mainly as a 2D system, and that's great. It did its job well, but having said that, there were some 3D games on there that would blow you away when you seen them, and this right here for me is the ultimate. In my opinion, this is the greatest looking game on the Game Boy Advance. Just look at how fluidly it moves. It's like a Nintendo 64 or a PS1 game. It's amazing. And apart from the visuals, it's a great racer in and of itself. Not the best on the system, but a close second in my opinion. 1 in 9 thing is the constant pops from the exhaust. And you can hear them there. They do kind of get on your nerves a little bit. At number 6, probably one people are expecting to see here, we've got Advance Wars. Advance Wars is one of the best reviewed games on the system, but still not everyone is a fan. Some people just never click when it comes to strategy games, especially turn-based strategy games, and this is exactly what this is. Me, I love it. I've always been a fan of strategy games on PC, so I really enjoyed the chance to play a really good and stripped down fun strategy game while on the move. I played the Battle Isle series on the Amiga in the early 90s, and Advance Wars has always filled me with nostalgia for that series. Advance Wars, number 6 in my list, a classic. Okay, at number 5 we have got Gradius Advance or Gradius Galaxies, depending where you are from. Okay, anyone that watches the channel knows I love my shooters. I've been an R-Type and Gradius fan all my life, and I've played so many versions of each. This is very old school and plays just like the original Gradius games. I mean, just look at it. That was a negative point for some reviewers that it played like the original games, but for me it was exactly what I wanted. If you like old school shooters, you won't find much better than this on the Game Boy Advance. And at number 4 we have got Iridium II, or Iridium II, I'm never quite sure. Iridium II, this is another graphically amazing game on the little Game Boy Advance. Iridium 1 had a different perspective than this, kind of like Space Harrier, and I wasn't a fan at all, but they totally changed the game mechanics for this and created a far superior top-down shooter. I'm not a fan of bullet hell shooters. To me, they're more of a memory puzzle than a shooter that depends on reflexes and that kind of stuff, but this never quite gets into that territory. It still takes skill and intuition to do well, just like a good shooter should. At number 3, we have got the legend that is Doom. Oh man, one of the greatest PC games ever, and it's on handheld. When I heard about this, I was very skeptical, but the finished game is amazing. Graphically, it's fantastic. It can be a bit pixelated in places, but for a Game Boy Advance game, this is absolutely fine. It plays amazingly. Some frustrating things are the lack of save points. You need to get from from the beginning to the end in one sitting. And the fact that killed enemies now disappear, because killed enemies was always a good way to know if you've been in an area or not. But with all that said, I still think this is one of the greatest games I've seen on the Game Boy Advance. A really, really brilliant port. And as I said in the intro, this is one of those games that I always go back to. When there was a power cut recently, I was playing hours of Doom on the Game Boy Advance. Number 2, and I'm guessing people are expecting to see this on the list, probably surprised I haven't seen it yet. We've got Pokemon Ruby or Sapphire. Okay guys, it's Pokemon, enough said, move along, right? Actually, I do need to point out that as awesome as these games were, a lot of people complained that the Ruby and Sapphire version, the fact that they were incompatible with Gold and Silver. And that's it. That's really the only negative. Apart from that, there really is nothing else to say. It's a great game. These games added features that remain staples of the Pokemon series to this day, like the abilities and natures and other fun stuff. Look, it's Pokemon. There's nothing really else to say about it. It's just mwah, perfect. Okay, number 1, guys, what do you think my number 1 Game Boy Advance is gonna be? I'm not sure if you'll guess it. I mean, you're probably already saying it's number 1. There's so many amazing Nintendo IPs that aren't here, but hey, it's my list. Number 1, Mario Kart Super Circuit. Oh, Nintendo's first Mario Kart game on a small screen, and as usual, a super successful game and widely loved and well received. There's nothing really that needs to be said. It's Mario Kart, it's super fun, it contains all the tracks from the original SNES game, as well as an additional 20 tracks. The only bad thing is the pre-rendered graphics. They don't look amazing, but the tracks themselves are great and they move fluidly. Mario Kart Super Circuit, I love it. I love my Mario Kart games. I've never found one in all the iterations that came out that I disliked. And for me, there never was going to be, there never could be a different number 1 on the Game Boy Advance than Mario Kart Super Circuit. Well, what do you guys think? I bet there's a ton of games there that you didn't expect to see in anybody's top 10, and there's some that you completely expected to see in probably every Game Boy Advance top 10. Mario Kart, it just never fails to impress me. It's one of my favourite games of all time, and I remember it coming out on the Super Nintendo, and I remember the reviews, I remember seeing it on TV, and also remember thinking, that's crap, who wants to play a kart game? That sucks. Why? And that was Teenage Keith in the early 90s, and here's like Old Man Keith in the 2021s saying, yeah, Mario Kart, one of my favourite games. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye. If you like that video and if you like what I do on the channel, please leave a like and please subscribe because it helps very much. Thank you.